Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Henry, and today we have a super exciting topic that's going to make a huge difference in your English speaking skills.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah, your co-host. We are so happy to have you here. Today we're talking about something that almost every English learner struggles with at some point: how to speak without pausing too much.
Yeah, you know that feeling when you want to say something, but you get stuck searching for words, and there's this awkward silence, and you start to panic a little?
Oh, yes, I've been there too. Even when I was learning Spanish, it's totally normal. But today, we're going to help you find ways to keep speaking smoothly, even when you're not sure of the perfect word.
Exactly. So, in this episode, we'll talk about why we pause, how you can train your brain to think faster in English, and simple practical techniques you can start using today.
And don't worry, we'll also share some fun exercises you can practice at home or even while you're walking down the street.
That's right. Whether you're preparing for a conversation, a job interview, or just want to sound more natural, we've got you covered.
All right, are you ready to get started?
Let's dive into it and find out why we pause when we speak. So, let's start with a simple question. Why do we pause when we speak? Especially when we're speaking in a second language like English.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first of all, pausing is actually very natural. Even native speakers do it. But the difference is, fluent speakers pause in a way that feels smooth, not uncomfortable.
Exactly. Pausing itself isn't the enemy. It's those long, awkward pauses that can make you feel nervous, and sometimes make your listener confused.
Right. And for English learners, a lot of pausing comes from thinking too hard, like you're trying to remember the perfect grammar rule or find the exact vocabulary word, and your brain just freezes.
Yep, it's like your brain is a computer that suddenly says, "Loading, please wait."
Totally. And sometimes it's not even about vocabulary or grammar. Sometimes it's fear of making a mistake, fear of sounding silly.
And that fear actually makes you pause even more. It's like a circle. You're afraid, so you pause, then you feel bad about pausing, and then you pause even more.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle. But the good news is, once you understand why you're pausing, you can start fixing it, step by step.
Let's break it down real quick. So here are 3 big reasons why people pause when speaking English.
Number 1, searching for the right word. You know the idea in your head, but the English word doesn't come instantly.
Number 2, overthinking grammar. You're so focused on making the perfect sentence that you lose your flow.
And number 3, fear of mistakes. You're worried about sounding wrong, so you hesitate and get stuck.
And here's a secret. Even native English speakers sometimes don't know the perfect word or perfect grammar. They just keep talking anyway.
Yes, they use simple words, or they change the sentence if they get stuck. They don't stop completely.
And that's the key. We want you to keep the conversation alive even if it's not perfect. Fluency is about flow, not perfection.
Exactly. So today we'll show you how to keep speaking naturally without those stressful long pauses, even when your brain wants to freeze.
All right, coming up next, how preparation can help you beat those pauses before they even start. Stick with us. All right, so now that we understand why we pause, let's talk about something really important: preparation.
Yes, preparation is a game changer when it comes to speaking fluently. A lot of people think that good speakers are just naturally good, but honestly, most of them have practiced a lot.
Exactly. When you prepare, you take away a lot of the pressure. You don't have to create every idea on the spot. You already have some phrases, some examples, even some small stories ready in your mind.
It's kind of like building a little toolbox in your brain, right? You can just reach in and grab what you need when you're speaking, instead of scrambling for words.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be complicated. For example, you can prepare by thinking about topics you often talk about, like your hobbies, your job, your family, your favorite movies.
Totally. Let's say you love cooking. You can practice a few simple sentences about that. I love trying new recipes. My favorite dish to cook is pasta. Last weekend, I made a chocolate cake.
Exactly. Then, when someone asks you, "What do you like to do in your free time?" Boom! You're ready. No panic, no long pauses.
And here's another simple trick: mind mapping. Before you have a conversation, maybe with a friend or in a meeting, just spend 2 minutes making a quick map in your head. Think, okay, I might talk about work, maybe weekend plans, maybe my dog. Just basic ideas.
Mind maps are so powerful because they organize your thoughts before you even open your mouth. It's like setting up signposts for your brain to follow.
Exactly. No more getting lost in your own thoughts halfway through a sentence.
And remember, preparation doesn't mean memorizing a speech. It's more about getting comfortable with your common topics, so you're not starting from zero every time.
I love that. It's like giving yourself a head start in every conversation.
Yes. And the more you prepare, the easier it gets, until one day you realize you're speaking without pausing, and it feels natural.
It's a beautiful feeling. And trust me, you can get there. Coming up next, we're going to share specific techniques you can use to keep speaking, even when your mind goes blank.
Stick around. You don't want to miss these tips. Welcome back. Now it's time for the really fun part. Techniques you can use to keep speaking smoothly, even when you're not sure what to say.
Yes, these are real tools you can start using today, and the more you practice them, the more natural your English will sound.
All right, let's dive into our first technique, using filler phrases.
Oh, I love this one. Native speakers use fillers all the time when they need a moment to think. Things like, well, or let me see, or that's a good question.
Exactly. So instead of sitting there silently, you give yourself a second to breathe while still sounding fluent.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. Here are a few easy fillers you can practice. Let me think for a second. Well, it depends. That's interesting.
Just using one little phrase like that gives your brain a second to find the next idea. It's like buying yourself some time.
All right, technique number 2, rephrasing.
Yes. So imagine you get stuck. Maybe you can't find the perfect word. Instead of stopping, you just explain it a different way.
For example, let's say you don't remember the word bicycle. You could say it's like a vehicle with 2 wheels that you pedal, and guess what? The other person will totally understand you.
Exactly. You don't need the perfect word. You just need to keep communicating.
All right, moving on to technique 3, keeping sentences simple.
Oh yeah. Big mistake a lot of learners make is trying to say really long, complicated sentences, and then getting stuck halfway.
Short sentences are your best friend. Instead of saying, I have been dreaming about traveling to many different countries for a long time because I want to explore various cultures, you can just say, I want to travel and see new cultures.
Way easier, and sounds just as good.
Exactly. Simple sentences keep your confidence up and your speech flowing.
All right, technique 4, practice thinking in English.
Ooh, this is a powerful one. A lot of pauses happen because people are still translating in their head, from their native language to English.
Yeah, and translation takes time. So if you practice thinking directly in English, even just small thoughts like, I'm hungry, or I need to buy milk, you start to get faster.
It's like training your brain to live in English instead of visiting it once in a while.
Yeah, you want to move into English, not just take a short vacation there.
Exactly. Even 1 minute a day of thinking in English helps.
All right, last but not least, Accept imperfection.
This might be the most important one. You have to allow yourself to make mistakes. If you wait for the perfect word or the perfect sentence, you'll pause forever.
Yes, communication is more important than perfection. People care about what you're saying, not whether your grammar is 100% perfect.
And actually, small mistakes often make you sound more natural, because that's how real conversations are.
Right. No one speaks perfectly all the time, not even native speakers.
So remember, keep talking even if it's messy. It's way better than being silent.
Okay, quick review before we move on. Here are the 5 techniques we shared. Use filler phrases. Rephrase if you get stuck. Keep sentences simple. Practice thinking in English. Accept imperfection.
If you can practice even one of these every day, you'll start speaking with so much more confidence and fewer pauses.
And next, we're going to share some fun exercises you can do at home to make these techniques part of your daily routine.
Stay tuned. We're just getting started.
All right, welcome back. Now that you know some techniques, we're going to show you some practical exercises you can do every day to really train your brain to speak without pausing.
Yes, these are simple, fun, and you don't need any fancy tools. Just a little bit of time and consistency.
Okay, first exercise, 1-minute speaking challenge.
I love this one. Set a timer for 1 minute. Pick a random topic, like my favorite food, what I did yesterday, or even what's on my desk.
And then just speak. Don't worry about mistakes. Your only goal is to keep talking for the full minute, even if you repeat yourself a little bit.
And if you get stuck, remember those filler phrases we talked about earlier. Let me think, or what else? Just to keep the flow going.
Exactly. Over time, you can try longer times, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but start small.
Exercise number 2. Describe what you see.
Oh, this is great for building quick thinking. Just look around you, your room, your street, a photo, and start describing it in English.
For example, there's a big brown sofa. On the sofa, there's a blue cushion. Next to the sofa is a small coffee table.
It doesn't have to be interesting. The point is to practice speaking without stopping.
And you can do it anywhere. While brushing your teeth, walking outside, sitting at your desk.
All right, third exercise, story building.
This one is so fun. Start telling a simple story. It can be completely made up. For example, yesterday I met a talking dog, and then just keep adding little details.
The dog said he wanted to be a chef. So, we went to a restaurant together. You just keep going.
Exactly. It's a great way to practice thinking creatively in English, and again, no pauses.
Next up, exercise number 4, shadowing.
Ah, a classic. Find a short video like a YouTube clip or a podcast episode and copy the speaker exactly. Their words, their speed, their tone.
You're basically shadowing their voice, like an echo.
This helps you match the natural rhythm of English, and it trains your mouth to move smoothly without those awkward pauses.
Even 5 minutes a day of shadowing can make a huge difference.
All right, last one, question-answer practice.
This one's super simple. Write down a bunch of common questions, like, what's your favorite movie? Or, tell me about your hometown.
Then practice answering them out loud, without pausing. You can even record yourself and listen back.
It feels awkward at first, but hearing yourself helps you notice where you pause and where you can improve.
Exactly. And don't forget, celebrate small wins. If you can speak for 1 extra second today compared to yesterday, that's success.
So, quick recap of the exercises. 1-minute speaking challenge. Describe what you see. Story building. Shadowing. Question-answer practice.
Try one of these each day, and you'll be amazed at how much smoother your English becomes.
And coming up next, We're going to talk about something super important, how to stay motivated when learning to speak without pausing.
Yes, because building fluency is a journey, and you want to enjoy the ride.
All right, welcome back. Before we move forward, we really need to talk about something important, common mistakes English learners make when trying to speak without pausing.
Yes, and the good news is, once you know these mistakes, it's a lot easier to avoid them.
Exactly. So let's jump into the first one. Trying to be perfect.
Oh my gosh, yes. A lot of learners think, if I make even one small mistake, people will judge me. But the truth is, mistakes are natural.
Absolutely. If you focus too much on being perfect, you'll freeze. You'll pause more, not less.
So instead, aim for communication, not perfection. If people understand you, that's success.
All right, mistake number 2. Speaking too fast.
Right. Sometimes learners feel like they have to speak as fast as native speakers to sound fluent.
But if you rush, you lose control. And you actually end up pausing more because you get lost.
Exactly. Slow down, speak clearly. It's better to be a little slower and confident than fast and confused.
Okay, mistake 3. Not practicing out loud.
Yes, reading books, watching videos, that's great for vocabulary. But if you never speak out loud, you won't build fluency.
Speaking is like a muscle. You have to exercise it. Even just talking to yourself counts.
Even saying I'm making coffee now or it's a sunny day out loud is amazing practice.
Mistake number 4. Waiting for the right moment to speak.
This one's sneaky. A lot of learners think I'll speak when I know enough, but you'll never feel ready if you wait.
Exactly. The right time is now. Start speaking with the English you already have and learn as you go.
Progress comes from action, not from waiting.
All right. Last mistake. Comparing yourself to others.
Oof, this is such a big one. It's easy to look at someone else and think, they're so much better than me, but comparison just makes you feel bad and want to quit.
Right. Everyone's journey is different. Focus on your progress, not anyone else's.
Even small steps, like speaking one more sentence today, are huge wins.
Okay. Quick recap of the 5 common mistakes to avoid. Don't try to be perfect. Don't rush your speaking. Practice out loud. Every day. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't compare yourself to others.
If you keep these in mind, you'll move forward a lot faster and have way more fun too.
And next up, we're going to give you some final tips and encouragement to help you stay strong on your English-speaking journey.
Stay with us. You're doing amazing.
All right. We're almost at the end of today's episode. But before we finish, we want to talk about something that's just as important as any technique, your mindset.
Yes, learning to speak without pausing isn't just about skills, it's about believing in yourself too.
Exactly. And here's the truth. Fluency is built with tiny steps, not giant leaps.
Some days you'll feel amazing. Other days, you'll feel like you can't even form a sentence. That's normal.
Absolutely. If you ever feel frustrated, remember, even native speakers pause sometimes. Even we make mistakes.
I still pause when I'm speaking English, and it's my first language.
Here's a good mindset tip. Focus on progress, not perfection.
Yes, ask yourself, am I a little better than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, you're winning.
And even if you don't feel it today, trust the process. Every word you speak, every mistake you make, it's all part of growing.
Be kind to yourself. Celebrate every tiny success, because confidence doesn't come after you're fluent. It grows while you're learning.
So, keep going, keep speaking, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.
You're doing something amazing by working on your English. Be proud of yourself.
We believe in you, and we can't wait to see how far you'll go. Before we wrap up, we thought it would be fun to answer a few quick questions from you, our amazing listeners.
Yes, we love getting your questions, and we picked a few that we think will help a lot of you out there.
All right, first question. How do I stop translating from my native language in my head while speaking English?
Great question. The key is thinking in simple English, even if it's basic. For example, instead of thinking I need to do my homework in your language and then translating it, practice forming that thought directly in English, even if it's not perfect.
Exactly. Start small, simple words and sentences. It gets easier with practice.
Okay, next question. Is it okay to pause sometimes when I speak?
Short answer, absolutely. Everyone pauses. Even fluent speakers pause to think, breathe, and organize their ideas.
The goal isn't to eliminate pauses completely, it's to feel comfortable when they happen and not panic.
And last question for today. How can I practice if I don't have anyone to talk to?
Love this one. You can talk to yourself seriously. Describe your day, explain what you're doing, or even record yourself speaking and listen back.
Also, there are apps, language exchange websites, and even online speaking clubs where you can find conversation partners.
You're never truly alone in this journey. There are so many creative ways to practice.
That's it for today's Q&A, but we'll definitely be doing more in future episodes.
If you have a question you want us to answer, send it to us. We love hearing from you.
All right, let's wrap things up. All right, everyone. That's a wrap for today's episode of the English Learning Podcast.
We hope you're feeling more confident about speaking without pausing. And remember, it's all about practice, patience, and positivity.
Absolutely. Don't stress about being perfect. Just keep speaking, keep learning, and enjoy the journey.
And if you liked today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this podcast with your friends who are also learning English.
Thanks for spending time with us today. We're so proud of you. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now, and happy speaking.